They were posted at the port, the town hall, the fire station, and the Courier Press, and radio station were notified.
Alright, review and approve the minutes of the February 12th, 2013 meeting.
Supervisor Mike Steiner called the town of Bridgeport general meeting to order at 6:55. Those present upon roll call, Carnap by a phone, Marphilius, Steiner, Coots, Messerly, Crouch, Smircha, and constituents from the town. Postings were verified as being posted at the port, town hall, road, fire station, and Courier Press was notified. Motion to approve January 9th minutes by Marphilius, second by Carnap, all ayes, motion carried. Marphilius to approve treasurer's report, second by Carnap, motion carried. Check of property discussion concerning the recommendation from Plan Commission, motion by Marphilius, second by Carnap, to retain commercial zoning, permit ag use, which is a non-issue as ag can take place in commercial area, and the conditional use for entertainment remains. Motion carried with all voting yes. 2 multi-day events to remain with request to appear before board to critique each event after it takes place. This motion was made by Marphilius, second by Carnap. Motion carried with all voting yes. Motion by Marphilius to limit single-day events to 4 per year. Utilize shelter on west side of property with quiet time by midnight, with no single event held until after the first multi-day event scheduled in July. Exception may be a benefit request which will be brought before board for discussion. This motion was seconded by Carnap. Motion carried with all voting yes. Motion to allow 2 shelters, 1 pole building for storage and possible stage, with all setbacks in compliance with town ordinance and respect for neighbors taken into account, made by Marphilius, second by Carnap. Vote taken. Marphilius yes, Carnap yes, Steiner no. CSM Bob Selch. Motion to approve by Marphilius, second by Carnap. All yes, motion carried. City of Marquette fireworks request for Independence Day celebration set for July 6, 2013. Motion to approve by Marphilius, second by Carnap. All yes, motion carried. Operator's license Shannon Wilcox. Motion by Carnap to approve, second by Marphilius. All yes, motion carried. Motion to approve bills is presented by Carnap, second by Marphilius. All yes, motion carried. Motion to adjourn by Marphilius, second by Carnap. Motion carried. Meeting adjourned at 7:58 p.m.
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made and second to approve the minutes of the February 12th meeting. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, motion carried. Treasurer's report.
In the checking account, $135,841.23, $46.36 of that being interest. There's still 2 outstanding bills. The principal group stayed the same. The savings account is at $33,218.23. The mobile home account, Hillview, is at $2,220.36. Kramer's is at $3,793. There's still the tax account is still open, and hopefully we can close that tonight for putting some into the savings account for probably the Vineyard Coolidge Road project.
Do we need to discuss how much to switch into savings?
I was thinking we should put 25,000. Because that project is gonna be over $500,000. And, you know, the less you have to borrow, the better off we're gonna
Right.
be.
Right.
And the less it's gonna keep people's taxes down.
And we're still gonna try and find out what the city's gonna be able to do into it, seeing as they're annexed into the middle of the vineyard, so.
But it's still gonna cost
Oh,
us
definitely.
a good amount of money.
Mm-hmm, yep, no problem.
And it has to be done.
How much is in the tax account?
117, 130, John. Looking at transferring 25,000 into the account for vineyard savings.
Sure, sounds good.
I'll make a motion to transfer 25,000 into savings.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded to transfer from the tax account 25,000 into savings. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, motion carried.
Everything has been paid out to the sanitary district that has to be paid. And that wasn't paid on the tax roll has been paid out also. So when the check comes in August, what remainder there is will be the townships. Because everything has been taken care of ahead of time. And the county only has, I figured, less than $64,000 to collect from the town of Bridgeport. Over 1,400,000 was collected the first half.
That's not bad. Not a bad percent, anyway.
But that didn't all go to the township.
Oh, no.
The
Be nice if
school-
it did.
The school gets almost $1 million out of our tax bill.
Yeah. Southwest, all
Besides,
of them.
Yeah, they get
Wazika,
200,000 and something.
yeah.
Crawford County gets probably 500,000. Probably more than that, really, yeah. I think we've given 500,000 already.
Yeah.
You still do a motion.
Motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Second that motion.
Motion made and second to approve the treasurer's report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Zoning question by residents. As we've done them all, and so is Ryan, we're gonna give you time to ask the question, and we'll go from there, all right? And the residents of the township are the ones that are more concerned about this than anybody, so.
How did you want to do that, Mike? Did you want us to start out one at a time or what?
That's the easiest thing. You're only gonna get the couple, 2-3 minutes,
I
Doc,
think we have
so.
5 to 10 minutes on the agenda, Linda.
And our attorney said that there shouldn't be any reason that we should need that
Are you
much.
going to have the attorney run the board, or are you going to run it?
I'm not trying to run it, I just asked the attorney and he said to.
Well, it's totally unfair. I want you to know that.
Ask your question, I guess.
Come on, yeah.
Well, let
Ask
me,
your question.
if I can go first. First of all, it really entered my mind that the board really understands the purpose of zoning. And if you guys, one of you guys want to tell me what the purpose of zoning is, we'll be glad to listen to you. It's going to take more than a minute and a half. But let me tell you about the purpose of zoning as defined by encyclopedia. The primary purpose of zoning is to segregate uses that are thought to be incompatible. In practice, zoning is used to prevent new development from interfering with existing residents or businesses and to preserve the character of our community. Now, that being said, let me ask you these questions. The Bridgeport zoning code states that conditional use must not be injurious to the use and enjoyment of the property in the immediate vicinity of the purposes already permitted. Now, my question is, will this proposed mine not be injurious to the use and enjoyment of other properties in the immediate vicinity of the purpose already permitted? I can tell you it will, because I live next to it. The Bridgeport zoning codes also that conditional use must not substantially diminish and impair property values within the neighborhood. Would not this proposed mine substantially diminish and impair property values within the neighborhood? You folks got to think about this. You know, there's other people in these neighborhoods in our community other than the mining people. And we lived here and we were here first. Now, somebody else would like to ask some questions. Greg, would you like to say some questions?
I just want to know, do you feel it's the legal duty of the board of the township of Bridgeport to uphold any zoning laws that we have? And then I guess another part of that question is, if you do believe that, if those zoning laws aren't abided by, is there a punishment, or can the town of Bridgeport be turned around and sued by say its own people, or if you do not abide by our zoning laws, can you be sued? And if the board is sued, does that not mean we're all sued as well? Who pays for the lawsuit if we don't abide by the zoning laws that we have in place now? And if I could get an answer tonight would be great, rather than wait for another meeting.
Obviously not.
I guess what we're looking at, it's not an open forum to be able to do this too anyway. This law was enacted, unlike you said it was, Doc, by us. This was done in 1972 or 1976. I did not sign it, Linda did not sign it, and John Carniff did not sign it, but you put it in the paper that we did sign it. We had nothing to do with that for zoning, but you put it in the paper. And why?
I put it in the paper?
Yeah, here it is. I got the piece right here that you had with it. Who to call?
I can
Right there.
I can show you in the zoning law.
No, no.
Yeah,
I'm
You
talking
can
to
go
him.
on,
You
you go
just.
online and you can see that.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I did.
1976.
The zoning code that Linda Smirchna sent us has all of the signatures that are referenced in the newspaper article with the dates from 2005 to 2008.
Yes,
That is the code we were
Yep.
sent.
that's right.
You didn't
Yes,
sign it.
Why would
There
I?
Yes.
there may have been some in there, some changes that were made that this board signed.
Yep.
But the initial zoning codes for agricultural, commercial, residential, agricultural, commercial, and industrial were initially brought into play and voted on in, I believe it was 1976.
Well,
Was
I don't
when the
believe
zoning
anyone
codes
asked
first.
this question. You're not addressing what they asked you.
I just was answering that portion that you stated.
Mike, not to argue, Mike, but I didn't sign the Constitution of the United States either, but we abide by it.
and they can change it
Okay.
if they want.
Sorry.
The idea behind it is that's what we're getting at. Our recourse as to this is just that. What we're having right now is problems with people being able to utilize land in an agricultural setting for something that's already set up in these. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but when this thing takes again, our lawyer will be present tomorrow night. So, what I'm trying to say is, as far as the initial zoning for agriculture, commercial, and all that, residential, that was done in '76. Updates to it might have been done afterwards. But as far as, at what point, I have no clue as to that.
Mike, that's really immaterial because, you know, you gotta use the zoning law you got right now to protect our township and take care of the people that live here, you know.
And that's
What's the
why,
difference when it was
okay,
written?
okay, all
I mean,
right.
you gotta take care of the people now. And you gotta use those laws to protect us and keep the people out of our community. It's gonna harm our community. And if the mine will, it'll harm our community.
That's what you're elected for, the people, for the people.
Well, I'd like to have some of the other people read some questions for you too. Sheila's got it.
They haven't answered any of the questions
I
asked.
didn't expect they would be.
They will be answered as we actually act on it, whether it be for the cup or for the actual mining application itself.
They better open the book where we can get their,
And then we'll do it line by line, so that we look at each question and discuss it and know, whether we are or aren't or whatever.
we got some
As far as the legal aspect, will I be able to find out the answer to the question tomorrow night when the attorney's present? You know,
Well,
will we be,
There will be public input then, is what you're
We,
saying.
we will be looking at it for the cup, for the plan commission, we will be looking at it, and we were looking at each aspect of the zoning code to know that, how does this apply, how does this apply, and be able to discuss it so that we can come up with the best plan for it. And we don't, we aren't trying to not look at our zoning codes because they are important. That's why they were enacted, that's why they're there, to look at and to acknowledge what they are and to go by what they are, so.
We'll hold you to that. We got some more questions?
The question that I have is the conditional use permit form states, permit may be revoked if misrepresentation of any of the above information or attached is found to exist. Has all information provided with the CUP application for the Patterson mine been confirmed to have no misrepresentations.
And we'll review all of that. We'll review all of it tomorrow night, closer to look at it closely to know for sure.
So this far into this whole thing, you guys don't have any answers to any of these questions? You still have to review them?
Well, it's a committee that makes the decision. It's not just, I can't stand up here and say, yes, this is exactly what it is, or this isn't, because it's a committee that makes the decision.
So will the committee be answering the questions for the public?
That's, will be part of the application process tomorrow night.
Tomorrow.
And understand that if it comes this way, the same people that you will elect, hopefully they will do the same thing. If the majority of what happens, you go along with that, don't just come out, make the accusations, because we have not had the time to be able to do this together.
That's what I'm saying, if you haven't
Right.
had the time to review the questions
Right.
at this stage in the game, you are not prepared to vote yes or no for the mine. You're not-
And that's
you're
why
not prepared to
tomorrow
vote either
night,
way.
that's why tomorrow night, the lawyer will be here.
So this proposed mine does not be hazardous, harmful, offensive, or otherwise adverse to the environment or the value.
I'm not the head of it, but nobody else is talking, so
Yeah, I
I'm
know that.
trying to,
So what do you think about
we are-
this?
We are going to discuss it tomorrow night.
Well, we will
No.
discuss it, but we don't have any input. Now, only if it's going to be discussed, it should be around the whole town.
Well,
Right.
right, but there's only two of us here, three of us from the plan commission, so if we get into that, then it's a meeting of the plan commission, and we can't do that.
Well, but you
We're
have
trying
the meeting tonight.
Right,
So
and we're
you
trying
the
to
board
should have been
follow,
prepared.
and we're
Yeah.
trying to follow the zoning codes.
I mean, I like quantity, I like to make things right.
Right. And we're trying to follow the zoning codes.
Well, I looked all this up, I took the time to find it, a question for you that I most want to hear about. And I can't get it tonight after I took my time off of work to come up here and find this out. Now, you tell me, Linda, I'm pointing this finger at you.
You can point a finger at me, Irene, and I'm sorry, but, I will discuss it with the plan commission tomorrow night.
Okay, but you better have some input, that's all I got to say. Or make it another day, so you can all find out these things like I
It
looked
doesn't have
at.
to be tomorrow night, get it on the agenda, public input.
If I found it, the zoning, you should know it, all right? Maybe it should be classes here. Okay.
I've got two more specific zoning questions I'd like to throw out. The Bridgeport zoning code states that a conditional use permit must contain the same information as required for a zoning permit and any additional requested by the zoning administrator. Does the conditional use permit application for the proposed mine contain enough information to assess that the mine will be in full compliance with the provisions of this ordinance? If not, has additional information been requested? And I know I'm not gonna get the answer, so I'll go right to the next.
The only problem we had was the bonding.
We received a lot of that info last week at the meeting that Dan Dreesens was here, because he reviewed the CUP and the mining application, and had issues that he wanted further clarification out. And he got those from Pattison, and he commented at the meeting last Wednesday that, they either made changes or clarified so that he was comfortable with it.
That was with the reclamation plan, right?
And the CUP, he reviewed the CUP also.
Next one, the Bridgeport zoning code states that the establishment, maintenance, and operation of the conditional use must be in strict conformance with the requirements of this ordinance. Will this proposed mine's establishment, maintenance, and operation of the conditional use be in strict conformance with the requirements of this ordinance?
To be honest with you, it's probably gonna be more so. The original one that's gonna mess with it's gonna be OSHA, the second one that's gonna mess with it's gonna be the DNR, the third one that'll mess with it is MSHA. We're at the bottom of this, but we're still gonna hire a person in order to be able to take care of the mine itself, to go and investigate if there's any problems that the neighborhood has.
You're gonna hire a person,
Yep, it's paid through
so that's
Pattison.
taxpayers'
Nope,
expense?
nope, it's paid through
Okay.
Pattison.
Okay.
all right? So that's the answer to that one anyway, all right?
Gene, I think
Here,
you
if I make
should
a
explain
copy of
your
it.
piece.
Excuse me, I just was gonna ask them if I could make a copy of your questions, and if it's the same one that Mr. Steele had, we have it, but if it's a
It's the
different
same
one.
one, yeah, you guys said you had it, it's the same one.
Just wanted to make sure. Yes,
Okay, we have our house for sale, we're on Old Highway 60, and we had some buyers that were really interested until they found out about the mine probably going in, and that squelched that deal. So I already know it's gonna really hurt the property values around it. And it's very depressing to be a landowner here and to have this pop up.
Yeah.
Because that was
We work
already-
our whole lives to build equity in our homes, and in one fell swoop, it could all be wiped away by this deal.
Yeah.
That was already a very nice home when they bought it. And
That's
they added
even
more
nicer now.
beautification to it and to get less.
Yeah.
In essence, we're asking the board to apply the zoning codes so they follow our code very, very strongly, and that they protect our township and our properties and our way of life here in Bridgeport. And I know there's money to be made, but the thing is, we were here first, and we need to use these zoning laws and ordinances to keep those that don't belong here out and wish to harm our community. And you'll find that in our zoning permit, as our questions were asked, there's gonna be harm done to our community in more than one way. So I encourage the board to study their zoning ordinances and along with their attorney, but I think the board should be aware of what the ordinances are. We go through them page by page and line by line, so when it make the decision, that they make the right decision for not the people from outside, but for us here in Bridgeport Township. That's all I got to say.
Doc, the reason we bring in a lawyer to do this, because it's written by a lawyer. In order to interpret it, you've been in enough law that you know that they can be interpreted in different ways. That's the reason we want him here tomorrow night, to be able to go through them and to be able to give you a logical answer to what it is.
I think it's good to have a lawyer, you sure don't want to screw this up.
I think he's good.
Hopefully the lawyer's agenda is to
Before you come
represent
with
the
the thing
community.
that somebody that doesn't belong here, it's like telling me the Indians were here first and we took over.
Well, he said
you
they
know.
didn't belong here because they don't live here.
Well, that's what I said, he doesn't, but some of the guys that work for
Well,
him
he's
do,
bastard.
some of the guys do.
The mine.
That work.
The mine's not from here, but,
No,
so
no.
why does it matter about
The
it?
workers that work for him.
Mike, I respect you and your opinion, so what's your
Yeah.
opinion on this, Mike? What do you think about the mine?
Well,
I mean, you guys can vote how you want, but I wanna know
Yeah.
what you guys think individually. What do you think of the mine coming here? Possibly. Do you think it's a good idea or a bad idea? Do you think it's gonna harm our way of life here or not? It's that simple, it's yes or no. Will it or will it not?
it's not as easy as yes or no,
Well, sure it is.
right?
The value of
For
her
the
home has already went
How
down,
would you
so
like to
is
live
it
right
yes or
across the
no?
road from
One
them,
box.
by your mailbox? 250 semis starting and stopping every hour or
I've
day?
got them running up and down my road now.
Yeah.
Not
Everybody else is exactly right.
Every
Gail's got something to say.
Somebody else got something to say.
Yeah, Mike, I'd like to comment on this. You say 250 semis. I guess the traffic count past my place is like 18,000. I live across from Walmart. I'm the person that sold to Walmart. I got a lot of flack from that. And I don't care whether people say, well, I'm never going to step foot in Walmart. Great. But this is my township. I've lived here as long as probably since 1949, probably as long as anybody else has. I'm quite proud of it. I invested in it. And what I received out of the Walmart, I reinvested in Bridgeport Township with a subdivision. And then I turned around and give the sanitary district $460-some thousand worth of water and sewer, and plus $120-some thousand worth of road. And I guess I'm proud of what's been done in Bridgeport, And if, what I did, I was very fortunate, but the growth that's happened in Bridgeport, Walmart pays $200,000 in taxes. The people in the subdivision, they're paying $50,000 worth in taxes. If we didn't grow and have that come here to Bridgeport, we would have been paying that $250,000. That's the reason our taxes are the way they are.
But in response to you, don't you, you have property along the river too that possibly could be sand someday too, right?
No.
No hills back there? No sand?
Rod, Mark, I'm sorry, Mark. We took 200,000 yards of sand up from behind my barn,
Yeah.
and I sold it to Walmart, or the guy that did the work for Walmart. And when people talk about reclamation, I wonder if they ever saw what reclamation really, really looks like. I had, behind my barn, I had 5 fields on 5 different levels. And now it's all on one level. It's absolutely beautiful. You can, people want to come out and hunt on my property. We have a tremendous amount of coyotes. Just an article in the paper was Gary Howe brought out Mark Walters, who does nothing but hunt and fish and writes articles. They were at my place. And they come every year for the last 4 or 5 years. So I can't see, if there's coyotes there, coyotes got to eat, so there's something else there to feed them.
You know, and we're really proud to have you in our township, you know, but you're paying taxes in our township. You've created jobs in our township, and we're glad that you're here. And you took your sand from one place and you put it in another. It's still here, but and you're spending your money in our township. This guy isn't spending money in our township like he should, like you're doing. You know, he's not going to be paying taxes on his property down, and he's going to be taken out like you're doing. See, and when we talk about outside people, there he is.
Yeah, you made it
There he is.
beautiful.
And we're
He's gonna have a
glad to
rock-
have you here because you're
rock
so
Yeah,
making
but
our
the three-
township better.
But I'll go back
He's
to the
not.
reclamation. I can only touch on a couple things. One is the reclamation. It's great, absolutely great when it's done with it. I would invite anybody that wants to see what a reclamation looks like. Set up an appointment with me.
Reclaim a sand
What
mine.
about-
I have a
question.
difference.
That's
I have a
fine. We
question.
gotta
Alright,
consider
we
the whole
got,
package.
right now, I want one more question.
Okay, obviously you guys have heard a lot of our complaints, right? What I have yet to hear is, why are you considering it? What are the advantages? Is there a huge increase in taxes that you're gonna get from those 3 properties? What is this bringing to our community?
The ones we're gonna do, like I said, came here to let you voice your opinion on what this is gonna be. It will be taken care of tomorrow night.
Okay, I'm just
Right.
curious.
Right.
What are the taxes on
Right.
these 3 properties going up?
They don't pay no taxes. He's
Well,
never paid no taxes on that property.
So, your job as a board is to represent the community, not Pattison, not anybody but us. And you can't outweigh the needs of the many for 3 landowners who stand to profit here. You have to represent the group. And unless you can stand up here and say, we're gonna get $1 million in taxes off these properties, or, you know, everybody in Bridgeport will never be unemployed again. Nobody's house.
Got one more for you, Mark.
So,
Alright.
you can't tell us any of those things.
Yeah.
That's why I say that's what's gonna happen tomorrow night.
Okay?
Alright? You'll get the questions asked that you sent us, and Doc, that's what he's gonna do. So,
If I can't speak, can I submit a letter, a question? Thank you.
we still got boards around here.
Questions tonight, it better be open tomorrow night.
That's right.
If they care, they will.
Yeah. What's the sense of having an attorney here if we can't, you know, we want our questions all answered?
And so do we, because we're supposed to be your voice. Okay? So that's what we want. So,
Mike,
Yes, he's paid by you. Yes, he's yours.
He's our attorney
So,
also.
all right, so that's what's gonna happen tomorrow night. So what we've got right now is we've got another rest of the board to go through. The rest of
Well,
our
we
meeting
will
to
tell
go through.
everybody it's
All right.
public input then tomorrow night, we get a voice.
It will be public input then tomorrow night. Let's clarify this right now.
Probably not.
Great.
We'll take the questions that you presented us and we will try to answer them.
What are you scared of? Why don't you want public input? What are you scared of?
Because
You don't know the answers to nothing is what it amounts to. And you people, you know, go out on 60, be where the fishlers are, get silicosis, die from that stuff in 15, 20 years.
This is the reason we can't
It seems
talk
to me
amongst-
everybody in our community thinks you're trying to push it through. You guys work for us. The attorney works for us.
Tomorrow night, if we don't speak tomorrow night, whose voice weighs more heavily in your mind? The attorney or the people? I mean, at the end of the night, when you hear the people, you know, they're basically pleading with you guys to listen.
Right,
you know.
and that's what
And
we
if the
ended
attorney-
up in.
Yeah, if the attorney starts waving you more and, you know, it ain't as bad as you think, or the people's got a different approach on it, you know, what voice would, you know, be running through your brains all night long? The people or the lawyer?
Should be up to the board to stick up for the people.
Stick up for
Well,
the people.
I think
Yeah.
we talked about this before, guys, and this is gonna be the end of what we're talking about. I think what I told you when we were standing in the back there, 688 voters, licensed voters, right? This thing happens on the 2nd of April. If you tell me, show me what's going on at that point, and you do what you gotta do with this thing, then you can see which other the other side is. This is America. We're not about to push this through on you. That ain't the idea behind this. No, thank you, ma'am. But that's what I wanna tell you. I'm straight up with you. I've never been anything but to you guys, all right? I've taken your stuff, all right, out there. I've never been any other way but it. But as I told you before, it was just as easy for me to take a piece of paper and say, I'm done right now, because of the way this turns out, okay?
This board received another completely different legal opinion, just so everyone knows, and I will get it to you if you wish to see it.
And a lawyer paid by anybody can stem it either way they wanna do it, ma'am.
That's right.
Right, and that's his
his
style,
question.
John, or
That's
the
his
dude
question.
criminal
Are you
player?
gonna stand with a lawyer or with your people?
He's the one that takes care of what our laws are.
Right, but
He's
if the
within
lawyer
here.
says there's no concern over the zoning requirements, okay, what are you gonna do? You gonna vote with the people, or are you gonna vote with the 3 landowners in Patterson?
We'll see what happens with it. Told you before. I've never, so that's as far as it is, guys, so that's what I'm saying, we're gonna finish off our meeting.
I just wanna put this with it too. Thanks.
Is that the end of the questions, then?
That's it, yep.
Submit this.
Mr. Cooch, you think something's funny?
This is the meeting, huh?
It's not, nothing's real funny, I don't think, here. This is pretty important. Okay, sure. All right, well, then you don't need to
Did I
laugh.
say
and
anything?
stuff. Don't,
Are you kidding me?
It's
down the way.
All right,
That's what we
we're going back to the board meeting.
Sorry. Something is serious and somebody's laughing about it.
Somebody's gonna wreck your life, the rest of 3 generations of your life. It's something serious.
Maple return check, what's the next step? And what is that?
Collecting taxes, and Shane Ruckel came in and paid his taxes.
Okay.
And there was a parcel that was marked Gary and Scott. Well, when Shane come in, I asked him about it, and he said, that's mine. He said, how much is it? I'll go get my checkbook and pay it. Well, he went and got his checkbook and paid it, and Rose took the deposit to the bank, and 3 days later, I got a
Yeah,
notice
so,
from stop payment charge. I tried many times. Rose tried many times. Linda tried many times to call him. All we ever got was his cell phone number, and I'll
That was
call you
Shane?
back, I'll call you back, yes.
So, best one to do is get it through Dad, Big Gary.
Well, we sent him a registered letter, and Gary signed for it.
Okay.
Well, we said, I had talked to Don McGuire about it, and he said that belongs with Scott and Gary, and they're all feuding and whatnot else, and so anyway, we got hung with, they took it from the tax account, the amount and the check charge. And I said to Martin when I took the taxes in and went over things, and I said, I don't know what to do. We've sent him a registered letter, we've sent him this, his mother come in the last day of, on January 31st to pay Scott's taxes. She said to me, and Rose can verify it, I said to her, what about this one? She said, I'll have him call you tomorrow night when he gets home. Well, apparently the 1st of February has never come, because I have never got a call from him. Martin said I should take it to the district attorney
Mm-hmm.
and let him collect it.
That's the easiest, there's a way to do it. You're not gonna
Turn
get
the
it out of
check
Gary
in
then.
and because we're out that money
Right.
from our tax account, and plus the charge for the stop payment.
Right.
So, and I told him just exactly what he was gonna owe us, you know, because we do have a $35 check charge on anything that's, insufficient
NSF,
or, yep,
yeah.
and nothing was done, so I think something should be done. It's more money than whatever, but I don't
Right.
think we should have to eat it.
No. Easiest thing to do, like you said.
So I should take it into Tim Baxter.
Yeah, give it to Tim.
And let him take care of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sound all right to you?
Yep.
Right. John, that sound all right to you? Yep.
I'll make a motion, I'll second it then.
Motion made and second to send the tax delinquency to the district attorney. Let him take care of it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Dollar General cigarette application.
They submitted one, they have all of the info that they need, they pay their fee. And it will only be good like from now through June 30th. And then
Of
they
this
will
year?
have to reapply.
Okay.
Yeah, and I told them that, and that was fine with them, they didn't have a problem with it, so.
You had to prorate it or something, or how do you?
No, it's just $5.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, and I told them it would only be good till June 30th, and then they did an app for a new one, and that was fine with them, so.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve that.
Motion made and second to approve the general cigarette application from Dollar General. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Mine safety training by the county.
This that we get every year, that the county puts on, it's coming up. Tuesday, April 23rd, at the county highway department. We need to have registration in by the 30th if anyone wants to go.
Where's that?
It's at the county building, the highway department.
By the 30th? Yeah.
Yeah, we have to have it in by the 30th,
Okay.
so we still have time
No.
to look at it. It runs from 7:30 until 4 that day.
All right. Good. Got the one tough one here. Discuss the dog license in township.
It is,
It's
always,
ridiculous, the people that are not paying for dog licenses, that have dogs.
just wondering if we should do something else with it, or.
I see Janet had a thing in the paper I could go stand right here and tell you, no, I don't own a dog license, I don't have a
Have a
dog,
dog,
and
yeah.
there's 3 dogs running in and out of their house all the time, you know?
Yeah. What is a dog license?
It's, $3 for spayed and or neutered, and $8 for all dog,
That's it?
yeah.
Okay.
Anything over 6 needs a kennel license.
All right.
And then you're supposed to be able to provide, kennel environment and that
Okay.
in order to have a kennel license.
Gotcha.
That was good. It
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
And it all goes to the county anyway, so.
Yeah, I get a quarter for every dog license I
You
write.
do
Yeah, big time.
well worth the 34-cent stamp, right? Yeah.
Not many, I think there's only, we do, and Prairie Township does, and I think the city does. But there's a lot of them that don't ever turn in anything.
That goes to county, county ought to be taking care of it then.
Well, they should, I said that when I turned in my dog license this year, I had 27 delinquent dog licenses for the township, and I said, what do you do about this? Well, I don't know. But I think it should be enforced by the county anyway.
Right. So I'd say anyway.
No action at this time. Okay.
We can figure out if the county wants to take it over.
Okay.
Now, set date for special town meeting on the Mine app.
Todd couldn't be here the 21st, so maybe the 27th, if that works for the others.
27th?
27th, it's a Wednesday. Six o'clock?
You'll have it out anyway, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it. Review and approve the bills.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
Motion made and seconded to approve the bills. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carried. Public input, 1 minute.
Yeah, I just got a question on the approved bills. What was the cost for, is that on there for the, Delta 3?
No.
Haven't seen it.
Or the,
No.
track?
Haven't seen a bill on it at all yet, Mark.
I didn't know what they were charging and. For what?
Right, right.
How much is the attorney charging?
We don't know.
We don't know that.
What's the 1 minute discussion?
That's it.
Leave it.
Say, John? Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Motion carried. There you go. Tell Leela thanks.